Hello, beautiful creative soul, and welcome back. I'm so very happy and grateful that you're here today for another episode. This is episode 9 of Chakra-Care for the Creative Soul. And today we're going to be talking about sounding your life into being beyond the planetary static. Hello, I'm Pollyanna Blanco, and I'll be your host today. I am a sacred self-care coach and creative midwife and chakra dance facilitator, helping busy light workers like yourself to care as much for yourself as you're caring for the world while you're birthing your dreams into being. Because truthfully, the world needs you more than ever right now to be yourself, to trust yourself, and to just honor those creative impulses. And that starts with taking really, really good care for yourself. Good care of yourself and for yourself. And that will make sense today. Actually, that was interesting that I said it that way. I'll loop back to that. But before I do, I want to just mention that today's sharing is going to be a little bit shorter because coming up right after Chakra-Care for the Creative Soul are Shri and Kira, my beloved teachers, and they're going to be doing their November predictions. So you're going to want to be there. Invite a friend, make some popcorn, make a warm bevy and cozy up and just catch that. It's a 90-minute really profound sharing today. So you're going to want to be there. Okay, well, hand on heart. I'm going to start off by sharing what inspired me today to create this show today. And I will be checking in the chat coming up soon too after I share this, because I'm wondering what has been going on for you. What have you been noticing this week? And we're still in the wake of the beautiful full moon energies of yesterday. And this is a very powerful full moon. I don't know about you, but I was feeling it for a couple of days, at least, probably since Wednesday, leading up to the full moon. I noticed it in the people around me at work. I noticed it in my inside of myself. I noticed with my friends and family how people were feeling, what was showing up. And today, what I'm going to be speaking to is this topic from the perspective of sound, on noticing what you're noticing. And I'm going to unpack that a little bit after I've shared what offered me the inspiration to do this show today. And if I'm looking down, I'm just peeking at my clock here just to I'm set the trust that it will complete itself. This share will complete itself in the divine and right timing. However, I get so swept up in what I'm saying sometimes that I just want to honor the time. Okay, so when I was in really, like all of us, in the full moon energies yesterday, I started off in the morning having a shower, doing my usual morning daily spiritual hygiene practice, where I release anything that is not of the light, and I set a powerful intention for holding, only the highest, possible, I call it pink, sparkly white light inside of me of unconditional love and light. And then I go into some energetic shielding and just declaring. And so it is actually a sounding practice. Sounding is understood in many different ways. And I'm a big practicer and believer of integrated spirituality into our daily moments of our life. As a sacred self-care coach, this is what I'm divinely empowering people to do by facilitating experiences for them where they can remember how important it is to really integrate their spiritual practices, the ones that support and nourish their soul, their heart, their body, their mind, their spirit, so that they can keep their eyes online with the divine every single day. And I had this experience in the shower where, because the energies were so intense, I noticed a lot of interference energy coming up. And that interference energy was profound. It was very intense, and like I'd never experienced it before. And what I found in that moment was there was this expanded presence in me, this divine mastery presence in me that stepped forward and practiced what my beautiful teachers, beloved Master Lady Kira Ra and Sri Ram Ka, have been teaching us for years, and that is focused awareness, complete trust, and steadfast commitment. And in that moment, I just turned up the volume on my practice of tuning into the divine and not allowing myself to get pulled into the static. And as I made that conscious choice, something very profound and interesting happened. I noticed what happened was literally a smile formed on my face, and I heard ha ha ha. And I'm laughing as I share that with you right now, because I know that sound. For years, practicing Samhara Reiki with clients and in small group and large group ceremonies with my teacher, Shelley Burton, in Toronto and even abroad, I came to know this light transmission, this voice that was so playful and so joyous and giggly. And I never felt the need to put a name or an identity on it. And as I listened to Sri and Kira talk about Archangel Zadkiel, I'm still not 100% sure, but more and more my spidey sense is leaning towards it could be Archangel Zadkiel, because really and truly, the giggliness, the playfulness of that voice, it's always talking about how silly life is on earth, with a smile, a loving, warm, accepting smile. And when I was in the shower, what came through was we just need to make that conscious choice in every moment. And as I heard it, change that when something starts to scare us, when something starts to pull us into this weird energy that we don't know where it came from. It's essentially just free floating energy. And the trick of the ego mind, because it just goes into alert, alert, danger, danger, is to convince us, or through cognitive dissonance, have us believing it's coming from a part of us. When oftentimes, I mean, it could be, it's an act of discernment. But oftentimes when it comes in just out of left field, what I've been learning along my journey is that it's not from little me. It's from the collective we that is also me. It's just this discernment that I don't have to believe every thought I think. And if it feels discordant and it doesn't feel uplifted, then I have a choice in this moment. So anyways, to go back to the message, I heard two very powerful messages come through, and one was shift your to a ha ha ha. And it literally made me laugh and smile in the moment. It was the moment I started that divine mastery presence in me started to smile at the fact that I could make that conscious choice, that I heard the ha ha ha, and I recognized that jubilant, playful, joyous energy that I'm going to call Archangel Zadkiel. And then it was so fascinating, because what came through after that was you cannot choose something that is not a choice. And it kept repeating itself over and over again. You cannot choose something that is not a choice. You cannot choose something that is not a choice. And this divine message kept coming through intuitively until I was able to sit with it for a while, or stand with it, because I was in the shower, to be honest. And what came through, and then it softened and dissipated, and it stayed with me, as you can tell, or I wouldn't be sharing it with you today, was this discernment that when we're moving through life on autopilot, reacting to what's going on out there, as well as even more so what's going on in here, reacting to our thoughts, especially if they're fearful or divisive or polarized, that we're not actually choosing. The choice that I've been talking about in some of my other episodes is a conscious choice. It means my awareness is present or it's not conscious. If it's a subconscious program that's just running over and over and over again, hand on heart, compassion for self, this Welcome to the Human Experience 101. We've all been here going through it. We dip down, we dip our toe into those waters every now and again. Sometimes we just take a deep dive right back in. The key is to really remember in every moment of every second of every day, we have conscious choice available to us. And so when we start to believe the thoughts that are telling us life is happening to us rather than for us to help us to grow, we have slipped out of choice and into something very different than conscious choice. And hand on heart, the reason why I felt so guided to share this with all of you today is when I talk about integrating our spiritual practices into our daily life in a way, and something just flew across the window, isn't that interesting? It is about really paying attention, not just when we're sitting on our yoga mat, not when we're, at a retreat, but when you're in the middle of doing a radio show and someone starts, revving their engine of their car. What are you noticing? What are you focusing on? What are you nourishing with your energy? And are you able to tune in to the inner stillness, that neutrality, that sea of neutrality, that dancing still point within you? Because that is where you're going to be able to really anchor the power of your choice from an expanded awareness of the truth of who you really are. That's what I've been finding. And so the sounding that I'm speaking about is the sounds that we make to ourselves. And the sounds that we make to ourselves are so important. One of the biggest ways we make sounds in our life is what we tell ourselves, how we speak to ourselves, what sound we allow to be loud inside of us that we've taken in from outside around us. That sound is so important. I know when I started studying Samhara Reiki, it was a very different form of Reiki than the original form of Reiki I studied. And the most liberating experience I had with that form of Reiki was it involved sounding to move energy, sounding in the form of light transmissions and light language, sounding in the form of just sound healing instruments such as crystal bowls and rattles, and sounding, with our own voice, vocalization, and to use sound as a sacred way of moving whatever we're finding ourselves experiencing and shifting the energy, the vibration, and ultimately the frequency that we're entering into and anchoring into. And so, as we know, metaphysically, everything that exists in the universe in physical material forms is seeded from sound. And this message came home to me as well, too, when I was working with someone in my Luminous Lightworker group just this past week. And we were doing a chakra dancing prayer for global healing. And at the same time, we started off with a mantra, mudra, and meditation and some chanting together, some sacred chanting. And whenever one or more are gathered, the intention is amplified, and it was so beautiful. And she was shared from her heart and soul with me afterwards. And it was such a blessing to have been able to be present, to show up for this experience, to invite this experience into both of our lives collectively, because she shared that she had been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and now she was feeling a reconnection to herself. She was feeling a complete upliftment of herself. And, you know, this is where sound is so restorative. In fact, personally, my whole life, I was told, speak up, I can't hear you, over and over and over again, well into my adult life. And I think I'm just smiling right now to have been invited to share through this beautiful portal of positivity, Oneness Talk Radio, because this continues to be part of my healing journey, is to speak up and to speak my truth. And it starts with what I say to myself, or I would never have been able to say yes, wholehearted, full body yes to this invitation. And so this week, if you want to, you know, sound your life into being, really, I invite you to notice what you're saying to yourself, what sounds you're inviting into your life, whether it's music or what you're watching in the world, what you're talking about in the world, and notice what you're noticing. Notice how your body's feeling, how it's responding. Notice the totality of who you are, and if it's nourishing your energy or taking you into fear, uncertainty, or doubt, or scarcity. If it is loving, it will uplift you. It will nourish you. It will expand you. And while imminent fear serves a powerful message to make a choice in this now moment, to step someplace safer, there's so much free floating fear right now on the planet, in the ethos, in the ether, that literally is, for those of you who are sensitive to energy, and you probably are, you wouldn't be watching this, it's really important to honor sound as sacred and restore the sacred to our sound and our voices, how we use our voices. Do we use our voices to heal ourselves and others, to share, to uplift, to be kind, to be present, to be loving? Do we use our voices for that or for something else? And there's no judgment. There's just a discernment, an invitation to remember who you really are and what resounds and sings true inside of you, what makes your heart sing. So thank you. I'm going to just go and check the chat just in case and see if there are any messages or shares about what people have been noticing this week. And I don't see anyone here. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to offer you a moment or two of sacred time with yourself, just to begin to tune in to what you're noticing, what thoughts are running through your mind. And whatever you're noticing, just, you might want to hum, you might want to you might want to make some other sound. Trust the sounds that your body wants to make, and just be still and be present with yourself. And I'll offer you that time now. And just, I invite you, hand on heart, to notice what you're noticing, because so many of us have been taught as children to be quiet, to not make much sound. Truth be told, even this morning, I felt so guided to put something golden on because of the golden light and the new earth that's birthing right now, and how much I use the golden light in my sacred self-care practice. And I put them on. I thought, oh, they're a little noisy. And then I thought, perfect, they're a little noisy. And then I thought, it's not noise if it's sound that uplifts and illuminates. There are different sounds. Not all sounds are noise. And then there's that to really notice too. The static is the noise, because the noise interferes with our ability to hear our heart song. And the sounds that literally uplift and amplify our soul song, our heart song, are beautiful. And so I invite you over this coming week to keep nourishing your soul by consciously inviting as many beautiful sounds into your life as possible. Surround yourself in a sound environment. It starts within, with using loving affirmations with yourself, with speaking kindly to yourself, having compassion for yourself, loving those parts of you that are maybe making discordant sounds, and asking them what they need from you. And as well, if you would like some additional support or guidance with that, I'm really happy and excited to be offering another Chakra Dance Reboot Your Base Chakra e-course program. It's a 10-day program for less than the price of a latte a day. You can come join us starting November 21st to November 30th. And I felt guided to offer it at that time, because I know that the holidays can be a really busy, frenetic time for so many people. And I really want to support you to move into that time period and through these shifting times feeling grounded, anchored, safe, secure, so that you can shine, that you can hear your heart song and your soul song. And the beautiful thing is, in this e-course, we do use mantra music, and it is such a powerful way to begin to really start to find the truth in your throat chakra, to find your voice, to warm it up, to get it, get it revved up and ready to go, because the world needs you, like I said at the beginning of the show, more than ever. And I really, really hope you'll say yes to yourself. I really want you to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you matter. And I'm so happy and grateful that you're here watching, either live or on the replay. Lots of love and light, beautiful creative souls. And do stick around. Coming up at 12 noon Eastern is the November predictions from Sri Ram Ka and Master Lady Kira Ra. It's a 90-minute, really spectacular share. I'm going to be there for sure. I invite you to be there as well too, and invite as many people as you can, because you can ask your questions live on the show. So you're going to want to be there, because I know right now there are lots of people with lots of questions. So, and I know you're going to have a wonderful time there. Okay. Wishing everyone a great week ahead. Lots of love and light. Be well.